Hi everybody, Jaime Kalman Chipko, back with a little bit more Jaime magic for you. And in the last video that I did, I talked about how my child was going to be returning to campus for the first time in a year tomorrow. She is going to do her first trip back to school, where they're going to spend about 3 hours on campus, and then they're going to come home and finish the school day at home. But this is sort of to get them ready, because we are going to go back to school 4 days a week, 3 hours a day for a hybrid model after spring break in just a couple of weeks. So we're here with another change, and most people don't love change. Change brings up uncertainty, and uncertainty is like anxiety's playground, right? If you are prone to anxiety or worried thinking, then you are very familiar with how uncertainty and inconsistency and unpredictability can stoke your anxious tendencies. So it's the same for kids. Kids feel, like they just want to know that everything's going to be okay. And if they don't know it, they want to know that you know it, right? And for those of us that are parents, and we've been parenting through the pandemic, one of the greatest challenges for parents this past year has been trying to keep your kids feeling safe and secure while the entire world has been just completely unknown in terms of safety and protocols. What can we do? What can't we do? The information kept changing. So it was very difficult to really be very strong in your conviction that the world is still a safe place when there were all kinds of things happening, from social unrest to the pandemic itself. Politics have been crazy. There was just so much happening that really painted a picture of a scary world. And here we're expecting these kids to just, okay, now guess what? Go back to school, and but stay 6 feet away and wear your mask the whole time, and don't touch anything that anybody else has touched, and don't share anything, don't use the playground. It's going to be very different. And so I know that because I've been really involved with my school during this whole process, and I'm very aware of what it is going to look like as opposed to what it used to look like. And so, trying to sell my child on the idea of going back, first of all, my child is very much a homebody. She would be more than happy to, just be at home all the time. But she also did do very well when she was at school. And so I think that part of this for her is just, doing something different, doing something new. And there's also a spattering of anxiety around it, for her, just naturally. Now, in that last video, that's what we discussed. In this video, what I wanted to do was take you through a process using myself as the example, and you can participate along with me by just mirroring what I'm saying and what I'm doing, or you can edit me and use your own words to make this experience more personal to you. But I'm going to show you how I use emotional freedom techniques, otherwise known as tapping. It's a stress relief tool, and I'm going to use this stress relief tool on myself while I talk about the things that make me anxious and feel uncertain about, this return to school and this change in our schedule, and really this change to this whole year, because really this reopening is also asking me to reopen my own mind to life is changing. Right now there's a light at the end of the tunnel with coronavirus. People are being vaccinated, and things are changing. So in a lot of ways that's a great thing, and then in a lot of ways we've gotten very accustomed to what life has looked like this past year as well. So I know that for myself there's a certain amount of subconscious pushback to the idea of just jumping back into life as it was, and that I have to reorient myself. Okay, so in order for me to be a really strong, confident person for my daughter, I need to work out my own stuff. So I mentioned in the last video how important it is to take care of your own self first, so that you can then pass on, that more calm energy to your child in an authentic way rather than just trying to like paste a smiley face on you. Like, everything's great. It's going to be great. When you're authentically more calm and centered, it's just a lot easier to navigate from that place. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay. So the first thing that I want to do is just identify the feeling. And for me, the feeling that I have is I feel some resistance. I feel resistance to the change. Part of me feels open to it, like, yeah, it's time to start going back. It's time to start making this change. And another part of me feels not quite ready. Another part of me feels like the pieces are not all in place at school. I'm feeling protective of my child's mental and emotional state and hoping that, she can handle the changes and that she'll be okay there. So I'm feeling some resistance. So I might start with that word, resistance. I wouldn't say that I feel anxious, although I have felt anxious, and I may feel anxious tomorrow. So I may tap a little bit on that preemptively. But I'm going to just check in, and the feelings I feel would be concern, worry. I just want her to have a good experience, But what I don't want to do is I don't want to, project all this worry and concern to her when I'm talking to her about it. I want her to really feel comfortable in what we're doing. So I'm going to tap on those feelings, and here's what that would look like. The first round that I'm going to do, it's going to sound really negative, and it has to in order to work. What I mean by that is I'm going to kind of stir the pot emotionally on myself so that I actually can work myself up a little bit around the uncomfortable feelings that I'm having, and I can just tell my truth about them. I can just get them out, get those thoughts out. You're kind of doing what's called a mind dump, dumping all those uncomfortable thoughts and feelings while you're tapping on the pressure points. So I'm going to start on the karate chop point while I say the setup phrase. And the setup phrase, I really only have to do this at the beginning of rounds when I'm trying to do transformation. So I'm just starting right here on my karate chop point, and I'm just going to say 3 sentences, okay, before I start tapping through the other points. Okay, so even though I feel this resistance to my daughter going back to school tomorrow, because I know it's going to look different, and I'm worried it's not going to be fun, and I'm worried she's going to feel scared, and I'm worried she's going to be uncomfortable physically there. I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. Even though I have a lot of concerns about if tomorrow is going to be safe and fun for her, I accept all of the feelings I have, and I choose to feel calm and open to a happy outcome. Even though I'm worried about getting my hopes up, because I don't want to be disappointed if she has a bad day, I choose to remember that I can support my child with love and openness and compassion no matter how the day goes. That the day does not define her. The day does not define me. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself, even though I have all of these weird feelings and all of this resistance to this change. That's okay. Okay, so that's my setup phrase. It's a lot more complicated than what you need to do. You can literally just go, even though I am anxious about tomorrow, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And you can say that 3 times, and that's your setup phrase. That's absolutely adequate and powerful. Okay, so now that I've done my setup phrase in my own way, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start tapping right here on the eye. Okay, so it's right where the eyebrow begins to grow in, and I'm just going to get back in touch with that resistance. Change. All of this change. We were in such a good situation. Our pod was working out beautifully. My child was really happy with her little learning pod. She was doing fine with distance learning, but I know that a lot of other children were not. And I know that it's important to get back for all of us, even if it's not what feels best for me personally. And even though it's been really hard to do distance learning all day, every day, and it might be nice to get back on campus for a little bit, I'm worried it's going to be inconsistent and unpredictable. I'm worried that it's going to be hard to pull this off. All the running back and forth between my house and school, all of the process. My daughter is so emotional. She is so sensitive to everything. I feel like I do mental gymnastics every day, trying to help her, trying to keep her calm and centered, just wanting her to feel confident and secure. And I'm worried she's going to be freezing cold because they have to have the windows and doors open. I worry she's going to be uncomfortable wearing her mask all day. I just don't want her to hate school. It's not going to look like it used to look. It's not going to be like it used to be. All the fun of school is gone. And it's just sitting at a desk 6 feet away in a mask. No sharing. How's that going to be fun for learning? And the teachers are scared and they feel like they can't teach the way they're used to teaching. They have to pivot yet again and learn all over again. So it's just a lot of change, and I'm really resisting more change because we've been through enough change. And here we're changing again, right after we just got comfortable again. And that's okay. Change isn't bad. Maybe this is going to be a good change. It might be a good change after all. Breathing. Breathe out again. Okay, so I noticed when I was tapping, a couple of things kind of definitely got my antenna up, and that was the idea that I don't want my child to hate school. I find that actually that's really what I think I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about her going back and being so uncomfortable that she doesn't like it, or that it's so boring that she doesn't like it. And so I'm going to do a round of tapping just on that point. Okay? So this fear that my daughter will not like school anymore. Okay. And I don't need to do the setup phrase, but I can, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go straight to the taps, to the points, to the taps. Okay. Even though I'm worried that my daughter's going to hate school because it's going to be so different than what she's used to, and all the fun things seem to be taken out, maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe there will be some fun things in there. And maybe it'll just be a welcome change from sitting in front of the computer for 5 hours straight. She may like the change because it's a breath of fresh air. It's something different and new. And even though new can be scary at first, maybe it won't be for very long. I'm willing to remember that Zoom school seemed like it was going to be a total bust. And so far she is learning and she is growing. And this is just the next logical step for us. I'm willing to see my daughter as capable of learning in a different environment. I'm willing to see my child as strong and resilient. Even though my daughter is sensitive and emotional and tends to feel afraid of everything, I deeply and completely love and accept who she is and how she is. And I'm willing to know that she has what it takes to learn and grow and be confident in her own way, in her own time. But by avoiding stressful situations, I don't give her the chance to practice being resilient. We only grow when we have things to bump up against. And I don't need to avoid bumps in the road. She can be strong and resilient Maybe parenting isn't about always having a happy child, but having a confident child who is capable and strong and resilient. And she can be very happy knowing that that's who she is. And I can create comfort for her at home and consistency for her at home to balance out the changes. So I will seek to create balance with this new change. I will seek to create calm in the home, calm in my body. I'm willing to see myself as capable of moving through this change. I'm willing to see myself as strong and resilient, flexible, open. I'm willing to see myself as being strong and grounded. I'm willing to see myself as being able to steward her through this change with grace and faith and strength and love. I am determined to be vigilant for peace. I am going to be vigilant in my mind. I choose to only see what can be great about this. I choose to see what will be fun about this. I choose to remember that I am capable of getting her through this smoothly. And if problems arise, or if we forget something, or if there's a mistake, or there's a problem, we can figure it out because everything is figure-outable. We can do this. By the way, Everything is Figure-Outable is a book by Marie Forleo. Check out Marie Forleo TV. It's really good. Okay, so if you're tapping right here on the eyebrow point. So I'm just going to release all this fear that I have about my own ability to make this a smooth transition. I'm just doing the best I know how to do. I'm just going to give myself permission to be calm. Giving myself permission to trust the outcome can be peaceful. Giving myself permission not to be perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect parent. I will just make choices that will set myself up to be present and centered. I can be organized. I can be clear. I can keep it light. We can do this. This is going to be a great learning experience for both of us. And we're going to show the anxiety that we don't need it. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be uncertain. It's okay to even worry a little bit, because worry just shows me where I need to focus my attention so that I can make a plan. I can take some action. And I know how to do that. So it's okay to be a little bit scared. It's okay to have a little resistance, but I can be open to. And I am a willing student learning right along with her. And that feels really good. Okay, so I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to hold that for a minute. Breathe it out. Breathe in. Hold it. Breathe out. So I could even do another round if I wanted to, just focusing on like a power round where I'm just tapping into like how great I want to feel. So I could really boost my vibration. I could really get my vibration up if I wanted to. And that can be really fun. So that could look like something like this. Even though tomorrow is a new day with new challenges and there is some uncertainty, I deeply and completely love and accept myself, and I choose to hold a space that tomorrow can be great. Even though I have some worry about it, it doesn't have to be perfect. I can accept whatever we get tomorrow, and I can choose to surrender the whole thing to my higher mind, and I choose to just have a blessed and beautiful day, whatever that looks like. I choose to remember that even if my daughter doesn't have a great time, it's one day, and I allow myself to hear and feel the words to guide her to a more peaceful place. I choose to see tomorrow as an amazing opportunity. It's a new day with new experiences, new challenges, and new opportunities. It's going to be a fresh experience, change of pace, a chance to be brave, a chance to be new, a chance to be strong, a chance to expect miracles, a chance to invite miracles. And I do. I invite miracles for my child and every child that goes to campus tomorrow. I hold love in my heart for every teacher, every staff member, everyone who's helping make this day silky smooth. And I just make a reservation for peace for my daughter. Love that. Thank you, Robin Duncan. Make a reservation for peace tomorrow for all the children, that they are just going to have such a wonderful day, that it's going to be a fun day, and they're going to feel big and strong and proud of themselves, that all the feelings that they feel, they allow themselves to feel those feelings and show up anyway, and showing up is huge. They are huge. These kids are masters. They have what it takes to do this. And all the teachers and all the parents, we've all got this. I just send us all so much love and light, and we're going to do an awesome job tomorrow. We're all taking a big step together, and it's going to be awesome. We're in this together. We can do this. We've got this. We've totally got this. It's just another day, but we can make it special. We can breathe, we can be present, and we've got this. Breathe. So I'm already buzzing. I'm already feeling much, much better. I actually feel like I was starting to get bored from tapping while I was doing it, because I was like, I'm good. I'm actually not at all really worried anymore tomorrow. And of course, something is sure to show up in my email inbox today or tonight or tomorrow morning with some new change. And you know what? I can tap that out too. I can tap, on that feeling of anxiety if that kicks up. And the great thing is that if there is a change, I can pivot, I can show up to it, I can do it. So I just hope that you have a wonderful experience whenever you guys wind up having to go back, or, if you're not going back, and you're having feelings about that, feel free to reach out here on Facebook. Let me know if I can help, because, these feelings are not facts, right? They're feelings, and they come and they go, and we have what it takes to work through them and listen to them, and then also make choices that are really grounded in, how we really would love to show up as opposed to just reacting. Okay. So thank you for tapping with me on this very personal issue, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. So have a great day today and a great day tomorrow.